Well, good morning, folks. It is a Monday, and it is November 23rd. So, of course, this is the week we have Thanksgiving. So, this will be a busy, busy week. And I hope it's a blessed week for everyone. Today we start a new chapter. We're going to move ahead. We're in chapter 12 now in Luke's Gospel. Today we're going to look at verses 1 through 3 today. So it's a warning against hypocrisy. So if there's ever a bit of scripture that points a finger at us, well, I would suspect that this is indeed one of them, if not one of the most pointed fingers, because I have always maintained we're all hypocrites. We just pick different places to be hypocrites about, or different things to be hypocrites about. So let's take a look here. Chapter 12, verses 1 to 3 in Luke's Gospel. Meanwhile, when the crowd gathered by the thousands, so that they trampled on one another, he began to speak first to his disciples. Beware of the yeast of the Pharisees, that is their hypocrisy. Nothing is covered up that will not be uncovered, and nothing secret that will not become known. Therefore, whatever you have said in the dark will be heard in the light, and what you have whispered behind closed doors will be proclaimed from the housetops, from the rooftops, I think some of the translations say. Jesus has got a lot of followers at this point, right? Okay, thousands. That's interesting. I mean, this is one of the few places other than the feeding where we see the number thousands. There are so many. They are trampling on one another, and of course, then they hear this warning, which of course is one of those things that is a problem for all of us. Hypocrisy is something that's a problem for everyone. He says, "Beware of the yeast of the Pharisees." That is their hypocrisy. Is the yeast of the Pharisees their hypocrisy, or is the hypocrisy what exactly is he saying here? Well, yeast is one of those things that builds you up, isn't it? It puffs you up, and it makes you feel more. Makes the bread look more voluminous, right? Bread without yeast and leavened bread is just a flat little hard thing, and with the yeast, then it becomes this big, built up and puffy, and what we look at in the West as being more desirable because we are used to eating leavened bread, not unleavened bread, other than a few things like communion and whatnot. But the yeast is what's building that up, and so the yeast is their ego building them up, and of course their ego. The problem is that they're saying one thing and doing another. We're supposed to be humble, but yet we're proud. So we have to be careful of that we don't become so. I'm so proud of my humbleness. Don't do that. That's not good. My humility is my greatest quality. That when somebody asks you the question, that would be a hypocrisy, as well as an ironic statement. And he goes on to say that all of us have the aspects of our lives. Nothing is covered up that will not be uncovered. All of us have those aspects of our lives that we don't quite measure up, that we wish to, maybe we wish we did, maybe we don't want to measure up. And we're supposed to, we need to reflect on those things. We need to look at that and try to decide, or not decide, but to abolish those things from our lives so that we aren't walking around in hypocrisy. Dustin Bauer, my good friend that's a pastor in a Christian church out in Hastings. I think I've mentioned Dustin before. Love Dustin. Dustin and I don't agree on a lot. Dustin, in fact, and I disagree on quite a few things. But one of the things I think that both Dustin and I respect about one another, and the thing that I love, is that both of us tend to try to look at things and decide, am I being a hypocrite? Is this the point where my hypocrisy is showing? Is it going to be shouted from the rooftops? And I do miss the days of being able to sit there and visit with Dustin and challenge each other sometimes. And sometimes we need a friend to do that. Sometimes we really need to do that with ourselves. And so I would encourage you to sit down today, tomorrow, the rest of your life, and is this what I'm saying here and what I'm doing here do those jive? Probably, if nothing else, this thing that we've got going on with this COVID has revealed the hypocrisy of so many, not necessarily in scriptural things, but just in the way that we tell what we tell some people to do. There's the old saying, do as I say and not as I do. And let's not do that. Let's not be like that. Let's not tell people to do one thing and then do something else ourselves. Let's not be so stuck up in our ego to think that that they can't do that, but I'm good enough, I can get away with that. Let's not do that. Let's not get ourselves into that position if we can, at all. So with that, I'm going to cut this one short because it's a Monday morning and it is Monday of Thanksgiving week. And oh my golly, there's a lot of stuff going on this week. One of the things that's going on tonight is the church councils, the joint councils are going to meet to talk about whether we may have worship on Sunday or not. So one more time, I'll ask you, one more time, because tonight they meet. If you have any input or thoughts that you'd like to share with any of the council members, please give one of them a call. If you don't know the names, the numbers, or one or the other of the people on the councils, feel free to call Clint this morning and ask him or me and ask for those numbers. Or you can call and tell me, but I'd really rather you tell the council members than tell me, because I think it means more coming from them. I can tell people what I do, but again, remember, I don't vote on these things. I'm not a voting member of the council. So if you want to influence someone's vote, you need to talk to the council members. All right? Make sure you have a very blessed day. And as always, please be a blessing to someone today. And don't be a hypocrite. Bye-bye. See you in the morning.